Yeah, there's nothing worse than money stress, is there? To me, yeah, like being stressed about money all the time is the worst,
Yeah.
and it affects everything, man. You can't relax, you can't have fun, you can't have a good relationship. You always worry. Yeah, it sucks. So I mean,
Yeah.
like Jan Peltzer wrote, you could put, the Cleaning Wealth, John's coaching program completely turned my life and business around. My anxiety levels have normalized, and I feel a sense of calm wash over me all the time. The stress in my shoulders, back, and neck have just like melted away. And as a result of this, my relationship with my significant other and family is a lot better now. It's a big change. The life transforms when you have financial success instead of financial just survival.
Yeah. Yeah, that financial survival comes from a place of lack. It comes from a place of need. And when you operate off of that, almost everything in your life turns out that way, where you're acting out of desperation, right? The way we teach things in the coaching program is we go with mindset. We go with concepts that develop us as people, our thinking, and our relationship with the idea of money and the idea of success, and not letting that intimidate us or haunt us, right? Because that in itself can cause you to fail. Right? Even having a poor mindset about money or having a poor relationship with money. You can make $1 million, but if you have a poor mindset with money and you don't feel like you deserve it, that $1 million is going to go away. And that's how a lot of people lose their wealth, right? They never fix that relationship with money. And so I urge people to start that now. Begin that journey now, where you're comfortable with money and you understand you have a good identity with the person that, the version of yourself that does have money. What does he or she look like? How does he or she operate? And in what ways can he or she be better, right? If you have those fears about money and what your life could be like, try to imagine that, try to picture it out and write it out, so you have a version of yourself that you can identify with, who has that money and you like that person.
Yeah, yeah. And they'll start like next week, probably right next week, when they'll call to find out when they'll start getting these 2 calls a week from you each week in your coaching program, where they'll get personal advice and motivation and accountability and everything. But one of the things that is the urgency of getting this information from you now, like this is like a do or die now situation, because what's going on is there's really only 2 kinds of cleaning businesses: the ones that make under $100,000 a year and the ones that make over $100,000 a year, and that's it. Because the ones that make under $100,000 a year are going to shrink and shrink and shrink, and pretty soon, if they're making under $100,000 a year, they're going to be making half of what they used to make, and then a quarter of what they used to make, because you got smarter people entering the cleaning business because of your strategies and program, because some like consolidation and all this kind of stuff. And the ones that make over $100,000 a year are going to start making more and more money because they're smarter and they have this stuff that you teach. But if you're listening to this right now, we know you're the kind that should be making over $100,000 a year, and you're a go-getter, a doer, and you have an open mind, or you wouldn't be listening to this. And we know you have a strong desire to make over $100,000 a year, like John and his students do. And also while working less hours and having less stress. So now's your chance to do it, because if you keep doing what everyone else is doing and what you're hearing in these groups and stuff and from these other people, you just keep getting average results and stay stuck where you are, and your income's going to go down, because this is really a critical time, and that would be a shame. You're too good for that. You deserve a lot better than that. And you see this as a critical time, like in the business of cleaning, in the home cleaning business now. John, what is that? Like, why is now a time that it's like either they have to, I don't know how to put this, but I want people to realize that this is a critical time. This is do or die.
Yeah.
Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, there's absolutely an urgency here, because, like you said, one of my favorite quotes here is, if your company isn't growing, it's shrinking, right? So let that sink in for a second. If your company is not growing, it's shrinking. And there's quite a few reasons for that. Number one is going to be competition. There's new players entering the game almost every week, right? And so if you're not joining the game, you're going to be left behind. Number two is naturally inflation, right? Inflation is a very real thing where if you're making, if your company is making you a personal income of $50,000 a year, that $50,000 a year now is not going to be the same $50,000 a year 5 years from now. And so if you're not growing, exactly, you are shrinking. That level of revenue, that level of income that you're receiving is not worth as much these days. And so you've got to constantly level up. You have to have this mindset of, I need to level up my business. I need to grow. This urgency starts now, right? Because you're going to get left behind. And so I always urge people, book a call, get some help, because we can accelerate your growth and keep you from staying in the ground and keep you from, looking outside, looking in, wondering what did you miss out on, right? The cleaning business game is something that's not complex, but it's something that you need to really dedicate yourself into and into learning, into having passion and implementing it into your life so you can create a better life, right? You need to make that decision.